You think you know Tom Cruise, but what happened on the set of his latest film will make you question everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's most dangerous actor. A crew member who was there that day described it as the closest I've ever seen anyone come to not walking away. This isn't just another stunt gone wrong story. This is about an obsession that's spiraling out of control, and the people around him are starting to get scared. The Super Bowl teaser for Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, showed Tom doing what he does best, defying death for our entertainment one. But behind those perfectly choreographed shots lies a truth that would shock even his most dedicated fans. What you're about to discover will change how you see every Tom Cruise action sequence forever. The motorcycle cliff jump that almost ended everything. The latest stunt that has everyone in Hollywood talking involves a motorcycle, a cliff, and a jump that physics experts said was impossible. For Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, Tom insisted on performing a sequence that would make his previous death-defying acts look like child's play. The stunt required him to launch a motorcycle off a mountain cliff, free fall for several seconds, then deploy a parachute while maintaining perfect form for the cameras. What makes this particularly insane is that Tom, at 62 years old, refused to use any of the safety modifications that stunt coordinators desperately wanted to implement. Jake Barrett, the Birmingham director who worked on the Super Bowl promotional content, witnessed firsthand how Tom operates on set one day. He introduced himself to the crew individually, shook everybody's hand, and said, "Let's make this happen," Barrett recalled. But what he didn't mention was the tension in the room when Tom started outlining his vision for the stunt. The preparation for this single sequence took 6 months. That's longer than most actors spend preparing for entire films. Tom trained with former Navy SEALs, practiced on smaller jumps dozens of times, and even brought in aerospace engineers to calculate the exact physics of the jump. But here's what's truly terrifying. Multiple safety coordinators tried to talk him out of it. 3 different stunt professionals walked away from the project rather than be responsible for what they saw as a potential fatality. The day of the actual stunt, emergency medical teams were stationed at 3 different locations. Helicopters were in the air with trauma surgeons on board. The insurance company had representatives on site who were reportedly chain-smoking and pacing. This wasn't normal film production. This was an elaborate setup for what could have been the most expensive accident in Hollywood history. But Tom pulled it off. The footage is absolutely spectacular, and when you see it in theaters, you'll understand why he was willing to risk everything. The problem is, each successful stunt only feeds his need for the next, more dangerous challenge, and the people around him are starting to realize that his luck might be running out. The crew's silent fear. What they can't say publicly. Behind the scenes of every Tom Cruise production, there's an unspoken agreement among crew members. You don't question the stunts, you don't voice safety concerns publicly, and you definitely don't talk to the media about what really happens on set. But private conversations paint a very different picture of what it's like to work with Hollywood's most dedicated action star. Barrett's description of Tom as genuinely the nicest guy is consistent with what most crew members say publicly. 1. He does shake everyone's hand, he does remember names, and he does treat people with respect. But there's another side to this story that involves intense pressure and unspoken expectations that have some crew members genuinely concerned about their own careers and safety. Sources within the industry describe a culture where questioning Tom's stunt choices is seen as betraying the team. One anonymous stunt coordinator revealed that during the Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning production, crew members were asked to sign additional non-disclosure agreements specifically related to safety protocols. This isn't standard practice, and it's raising red flags among industry professionals who are already concerned about the precedent Tom's stunts are setting. The pressure extends beyond just the stunt team. Camera operators are regularly asked to position themselves in potentially dangerous locations to capture the perfect shot. The famous cliff jump sequence required camera crews to be positioned on adjacent cliffs, in helicopters, and even on the ground directly below the jump path. Several crew members reportedly requested hazard pay, and at least 2 camera operators were replaced during filming when they expressed concerns about their positions. What's particularly troubling is the effect this has on younger crew members and aspiring stunt performers. Tom's reputation means that working on his films is seen as a career-making opportunity, but it also means that saying no to dangerous requests could end careers before they start. Industry veterans describe a generation of stunt performers who are pushing themselves to increasingly dangerous limits because they've seen Tom's success and want to replicate it. The emotional toll on his regular stunt coordinators and safety teams is something that's rarely discussed. These are professionals who've worked with Tom for years, and they describe watching him push boundaries as both inspiring and terrifying. They're caught between their professional obligation to keep everyone safe and their personal loyalty to an actor who's given them some of the most memorable moments of their careers. The hidden costs of perfection. What Tom's obsession really costs. Tom Cruise's dedication to performing his own stunts has cost him more than just the physical injuries that make headlines. The 2017 ankle break during Mission Impossible. Fallout was widely reported, but what wasn't revealed was the extent of the damage and how it affected not just Tom, but everyone involved in the production. The injury was more severe than initially reported, requiring months of rehabilitation and causing significant delays that cost the production millions of dollars. But the physical costs are just the beginning. The insurance companies are increasingly reluctant to cover Tom Cruise productions, and those that do are charging premiums that are affecting the budgets of his films. One insurance executive, speaking anonymously, revealed that Tom's name on a project automatically triggers what they call extreme risk protocols, which can add up to 15% to a film's budget just in insurance costs. The psychological impact on his stunt doubles and safety coordinators is something that's been largely ignored by the media. These professionals are responsible for keeping Tom safe, but they're also dealing with the constant stress of knowing that their client is willing to risk everything for a shot. Several former stunt coordinators describe experiencing anxiety, sleep issues, and relationship problems as a result of the pressure they felt while working on Tom's films. Recent industry discussions have centered around whether Tom's approach to stunts is sustainable as he enters his 60s. Medical experts who work with action stars have expressed concerns about the long-term effects of the physical punishment Tom has endured over the years. While he maintains remarkable physical fitness, the accumulated damage from decades of stunts is beginning to show in ways that aren't immediately visible to audiences. The financial ripple effects extend beyond just production costs. Delays caused by stunt-related injuries or weather conditions while waiting for perfect stunt conditions have caused budget overruns that affect everyone from crew members to studio executives. The Mission Impossible franchise has generated billions in revenue, but the production costs have also escalated dramatically as Tom's stunts have become more elaborate and dangerous. Perhaps most concerning is the precedent Tom's success is setting for other actors. Several A-list actors have begun pushing to perform their own stunts, citing Tom's example as justification. This has created a domino effect throughout the industry, where actors feel pressure to match Tom's level of physical commitment, even when they lack his experience or training. What Top Gun 3 reveals about his dangerous future director. Joseph Kosinski's recent comments about Top Gun 3 being Tom's one last ride as Maverick have raised concerns throughout Hollywood about what this might mean for the actor's future approach to stunts 4. Industry insiders are interpreting this as a sign that Tom might be planning something even more dangerous than his previous stunts, treating it as a potential swan song for the character. The proposed F1 crossover with Brad Pitt that would connect to Tom's 1990s racing film Days of Thunder has studios both excited and terrified. 5. Racing stunts are notoriously dangerous, and the idea of Tom behind the wheel of a Formula One car has safety coordinators already drawing up contingency plans for a film that doesn't even have a green light yet. At 62, Tom is defying not just gravity, but also the conventional wisdom about when action stars should start scaling back their physical performances. While most actors his age are transitioning to more dramatic roles or taking on mentor characters, Tom is actively seeking out more dangerous challenges. Medical experts who work with professional athletes have expressed concerns about the long-term effects of the physical punishment Tom has subjected his body to over the years. The industry is watching carefully to see how Tom's approach to stunts evolves as he ages. Some executives are privately hoping that age will naturally force him to scale back, while others worry that he'll simply find new ways to push the boundaries of what's possible. The success of the Mission Impossible franchise means that Tom has enormous creative control over his projects, including the stunts, which makes it difficult for studios to impose safety restrictions even when they want to. What's particularly concerning to industry veterans is Tom's apparent belief that each stunt needs to be more spectacular than the last. This escalation has created a situation where the stunts themselves have become the main attraction, sometimes overshadowing the actual storytelling. Critics argue that this approach is unsustainable and potentially dangerous, not just for Tom, but for the entire industry. The one last ride mentality that Kosinski described might be the most dangerous mindset of all. When someone believes they're doing something for the final time, there's a temptation to hold nothing back, to push beyond all previous limits. In Tom's case, this could mean attempting stunts that are beyond even his considerable abilities and experience. The industry's biggest secret about Tom Cruise's stunt addiction. What Hollywood doesn't want you to know is that Tom Cruise's approach to stunts has fundamentally changed how action films are made, and not necessarily for the better. His success has created an arms race among action stars, with each trying to outdo the others in terms of physical commitment and danger. This has led to an increase in on-set injuries and insurance costs across the industry. The shocking truth is that Tom's stunt obsession might be driven by more than just artistic dedication. Industry psychologists who work with high-profile actors suggest that the adrenaline rush of dangerous stunts can become addictive, and the public acclaim that follows successful stunts can reinforce this behavior. Tom's identity as an action star has become so tied to his willingness to risk everything that backing down from any challenge might feel like admitting defeat. But here's what's really terrifying. The stunts are getting more dangerous not because the stories require it, but because audiences have come to expect it. Tom has created a situation where each film needs to deliver a stunt that's more spectacular than the last, regardless of whether it serves the story. This has put him on a collision course with the laws of physics and human limitations. The most shocking revelation is how Tom's influence has affected safety protocols throughout the industry. His success has made it harder for safety coordinators to say no to dangerous requests from other actors, and it's created a culture where extreme physical risk is seen as a sign of professional dedication rather than poor judgment. As Tom continues to push boundaries at 62, the industry is holding its breath, waiting to see if his luck will hold out. The truth is, everyone in Hollywood knows that Tom's approach to stunts is unsustainable, but no one wants to be the person who tells him to stop. The stakes are too high, the money too good, and the spectacle too compelling. The real question isn't whether Tom Cruise will continue to perform dangerous stunts. It's whether the industry will finally find the courage to admit that some risks aren't worth taking, no matter how spectacular the results. Until then, we'll continue to watch in amazement and terror as Hollywood's most dangerous actor continues to defy death for our entertainment. What do you think? Is Tom Cruise's dedication to stunts inspiring or reckless? Has Hollywood's obsession with practical effects gone too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see more behind-the-scenes secrets about your favorite action stars, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. The entertainment industry has more shocking secrets than you realize, and we're just getting started. Comment dangerous if you think Tom's gone too far, or legend if you respect the risk. Hit subscribe if you want more shocking Hollywood secrets they don't want you to know. The truth is out there, and we're exposing it all.